Welcome to the Comic Scoop. This week, Image released issue number 11 for Nocterra, which is the intense conclusion of this current Volume 2. And before we go into that, I want to do a recap of the last few issues for Volume 2, starting with Nocterra issue 7. Now, where we had left off in the story in issue 6, the newest member of Sundog convoy is Bailey McCrae, aka Piper. So Piper is the granddaughter of Gus McCrae, who essentially was the creator of the Big PM, and also has the equation to bring about a heavenly light to push all the darkness. Piper is the current narrator for this volume 2, who basically spent her whole life in the Big PM. She was born 3 days before, and she's 14 now. And it's been 2 months since she's been part of Sundog convoy, and together they go to check out Outpost 31, trying to track down any kind of information on Gus McCrae or EOS, which is the facility that contains the light. Outpost 31, as you can see, is referred to the drive-in, and there's no questions why. And it's in this page where Piper mentions megas, which is our first time hearing this. Megas are the top of the food chain where, as far as shades go. And it says that water breeds them, which I have some thoughts on later. So inside the convoy, inside the outpost, they find it completely deserted except for livestock, which is peculiar because if shades entered, they would have torn up the whole place, like even the lights are on. But that's when they find the sole survivor, Adam. And he explains that the human shades, or shadows as he calls them, just kept coming into their outposts despite the light, despite how much they were burning. And instead of killing anyone, they allow themselves to burn as they tore people away from this safe haven. So Sundog convoy dips out of there, taking Adam with him. Now, as this is happening, we meet back up with Blacktop Bill, who is attempting to communicate with the shades using the Hepatung helmet. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough energy, and now he's on a new mission to find that energy source to power his helmet. But before he can do that, he's introduced to these new Nocturnes. And the Nocturnes is essentially what Blacktop Bill is. They're a military experiment designed specifically to fight the shades. They are the worst of the worst. But he's able to take them down no problem. Now back to Sundog convoy. As they're trying to get away, the rig with Slab and Nephil is heavy under attack. So they have to use their rig's cannons in order to destroy them, but their rig falls into the water. Fortunately, they're safe. Or are they? And that is when we see the very first mega. Now, megas are only found near water, and as Piper mentioned, the water breeds them. So those of you, if you recall, I will refresh your memories. The way how these shades come to be. So any animal that is left in the darkness for too long turns into a shade. And unlike regular anatomy, there can't be crossbreeding in between species with the animals in the animal kingdom. However, that is not the case with shades. Any animal can crossbreed with, or any shade can crossbreed with another shade, and that's how they create these ultimate forms of shades. And so these megas essentially are just like a combination of just like all the sea creatures, what I can suspect, because it kind of looks like a whale. See, like the tail there. It's pretty interesting. Unfortunate for these two, though, they're gone. And we leave this off with Blacktop Bill. He has his trophies of these nocturnes, trying to find his way to a new energy source. And as far as Sundog convoy goes, Val, the Sundog leader, has said there's only one way that they can find the information they're looking for, and that's to find Blacktop Bill. Now, issue 8. Issue 8's cool. We have this guy who finds refuge in Outpost 52. Once he removes his helmet, we come to find out that this is no regular guy looking for safety. It's Blacktop Bill. And he does his worst with these survivors. Now, Piper is getting to know the newest guy, Adam, letting him, in on the information of the crew and how he'll slowly be a part of them. And M, from the first arc, who had turned into a shade and has been turned back to a human, he mentions that the human shades have some sort of language, and they're a lot more intelligent than they had believed, and they're gearing up for some kind of war. The rest of our heroes, Val has found that there is certain convoys or certain outposts that have just lost their power. Usually, if they're attacked by shades, they send out a signal, but this one, 14, just went completely blank. And that is the outpost that Blacktop Bill is in. And it's completely blank because he's absorbed all their energy using the Hepatongue. And now finally connecting into that, he can speak with the big PM god Nox, Lord of the Shades. And he's quickly attacked by other shades because he might have found out a little too much. But fortunately for him, he is saved in the nick of time. Not by the Nocturnes, how he thought that were hunting him, but by Sundog. Because it's now time for them to team up and use their knowledge together. And he tells him simply, he's spoken with Nox, and something's coming bigger than any of them can imagine. And yeah, their mission to bring back the light is not going to be an easy task. But he will help them. Now in issue 9, basically they have Blacktop Bill tied up as their prisoner, because he's going to tell them where to go. And I really like this part here where Piper is telling Adam, giving some tips like, you always have to check your back. You don't know what's lurking out there. You just have to be careful. And Bill is just well said, Piper. Truer words may have never been spoken. She looks at him and thinks about this is the perfect time to kill him. The man who murdered my grandfather and countless others before and after the Big PM. And she throws her dagger, just slightly passing by his neck in order to kill a shade right behind him. So he's grateful. He says, I owe you one. So speaking together, Val and Bill explains that where they need to go to find the location of Eos is a place called Luna, which is a military outpost off on the coast of Florida. And the only way to get there is one single long bridge to the mainland. Now, this outpost, Luna, is the birthplace of the Nocturnes. That's where he was created. And he explains that Luna only targeted people ready to be mercenaries and kill men, women, and children if need be. The program rewarded cruelty, tyranny. Only the worst of us got to be Nocturnes, and the worst of the worst got to lead, which is Bill himself. So they are gearing up to go to this Luna and finally get the information that they need. But along the way there, they're tracked down by the other Nocturnes, leading them by William, who is Bill's rival, the one who truly wanted to lead. And Bill has even mentioned that their rivalry got to the point where William had called out Bill to duel for leadership, and Blacktop Bill literally ripped off his manhood and fed it to him. Now these guys are hot on the Sundog convoy's trail, and Piper is driving Bill's truck, and he tells him that he has a secret weapon. Push the button now, and that unleashes from his trunk a whole bunch of small human shades, small shades or children, and they're really unsure of did he collect these children's shades like that, or did he collect children and shove them into his trunk and then they turn into shades over time? It's not really said, but I wouldn't doubt the latter from Mr. Blacktop Bill, because he's cruel as hell like that. And we're almost done here, almost at the big finale. Prelude to the finale, issue 10 of Nocterra. They make it to Luna. Has this extremely bright orb here to keep away all the megas. Because remember, the megas live in the ocean. They are an amalgamation of all the ocean creatures, which I can only just imagine the different combinations and how cool they would be. So Piper, or Val, gives the rundown on what's going to happen. They're going to break into this facility. They're going to get the information of Eos, and she needs Piper and Adam to stay back and not go in with them. Adam is new and a liability, so she does not trust him to be with them. She does not know what he's capable of. And Piper has the information, the equation that they need to get to Eos in order to bring back the light. She is too important to have anything happen. And basically, Val tells her the moment they get the coordinates, she's going to give it to Piper, and they immediately have to leave. Run as fast as they can, no matter what. Piper is not happy with this idea. She doesn't want to leave them, but that's her duty. So the convoy, along with Blacktop Bill, sneak into this facility. They're crawling underneath the bridge, and even the shades or the megas underneath are starting to stir up. Finally, Bill comes in, and they all wreck the place. So once in, we get to meet the creator of the Nocturnes. And, he and Bill have some pleasantries with each other. Bill being the sly man that he is. And, they're here to take over the place and find the information for Eos. And while Adam and Piper are just waiting, writing down the coordinates that they need, Piper spots out in the distance the trucks of the other Nocturnes. Looks like the convoy is not safe, and Piper takes it amongst herself to help them. It's basically over for them. William and the rest of the Nocturnes have everyone dead to rights. And Val's trying to scream to Piper to go, get out of here, they have to leave. But unfortunately, she's no longer in the truck. She's there to save them. And she tells Adam to plug in the hepatung, not to commune with the shades, but in order to deplete this facility of all its power. No more light means the megas are free to do as they wish. And that they do. So, epic ending to this issue, and I was so excited for the next one to come out. Final issue was fantastic. We have this great cover here. Blacktop Bill and Sundog's Val back to back, helping each other out, which is, surrounded by all these shades. Just like, it's so great. From going to be like mortal enemies to like basically partners. Yeah, like that's a great cover. Now we have the megas that are just going rampant out here in the water, trying to come out. While there's a whole shootout in this facility, everyone's just blasting each other. Bill gets to kill his creator. Just literally blows his brains out. Like, look at those eyeballs. Oh my god, it's so sick. I loved it. Just look at that. That's so crazy. Oh man. Yeah, this whole scene was great. Really epic. You got Val with her cool helmet on, killing up the other Nocturnes. Everything's all fine. Sorry, a little spoiler there. But yeah, Blacktop Bill gets a stick of dynamite, and instead of shoving William's manhood into his mouth, he shoves this dynamite straight into there and blows his head away. He blows William's head away, and his hand too, basically, because he literally had his hand right in there. And they're all just like, "Oh my God, Bill, your hand!" And he just brushes it off. Whatever, means nothing to him. They got to get over the bridge. But then now, he turns on them because, of course. And he turns on them and tries to form an alliance. He says he's spoken with Nox, the Shade God. And what Nox has said to him was that, there's a darkness going to come. And those who work in their favor will have a place. He says that he knows Val understands this darkness the way that he does, because she was blind before the big PM. She knows the dark. She is the darkness, just like how he is. Together, they can work in favor of this new god and have their own reign. So he wants to know the location of Eos, so that way he can tell the Shades and they can destroy it. No one wants to give up the location of Eos until Adam, the newest member of the crew, he gives in. He tells him the exact coordinates. That way he can have Nox spare them. He tells, now if you talk to Nox again, you tell him to spare us. Spare everyone, because he helped them. And then Bill literally just blows a bullet into his head. I'll be sure to put a good word in, kid, and kills him, because that's it with this guy. That's what he gets for betraying these people who saved him. But the stuff with Bill seems to come to an end, because now this facility is overrun with Shades. This whole fight in between the convoy can step aside, because they gotta kill these Shades now. And yeah, I really like this. Blacktop Bill is trying to reach out his hand in partnership with Val. Last chance, Val. I like you. I do. Get in the lifeboat with me, you and your rabble. What do you say? And then just like, no, don't. M's just telling her not to do it. Val's just telling M to shut up. Tells him to duck, and uses her flamethrower at Bill. So he's starting to burn, he's screaming, but then he just ends up laughing. He's like, all right then, but I promise you, Val, you're going to regret not going with the winning side. Nox will reward the ones who are loyal to, and before he can finish that, one of the megas, with its disgusting shade tentacles, grabs Bill and drags him away. And it's literally so you were saying something, Bill? Doesn't look like he was very well protected. And that's the end of Blacktop Bill. The rest of the convoy has to escape. But out comes another Shade, or another Mega. And look at this. The design is so crazy. The mouth is definitely of a shark. It has the multiple rows of teeth, but it clearly has tentacles. So it's definitely some kind of shark, giant squid hybrid. It's like chimera of nightmares. Val, now they all escape. close this blast door behind them, and Val explains to them that they all have to go. She's gonna stay behind and take on the megas to slow them down. That way the convoy can get away. Of course, no one wants Val to stay behind, and they all say, like, no, we have to leave together. M especially is like, you're my sister. We put, some detonators here. That will slow them down. We all leave together. Val agrees and watches as they all, walk ahead, and then she closes the door behind her. Because she's going to stay and be the hero. They all have to go now. And it's just her and the megas. And she ignites the bombs. Everything comes down, even the bridge as they're running across it. They've made it back to the mainland. They're safe. They now know the location of Eos. They have lost Sundog, but at least Blacktop Bill is done. Or is he? They show this during the ending conclusion. Those dark tentacles of Omega who had grabbed Blacktop Bill and dragged him down into the ocean. And he just says, yes, my lord, I hear you now. And I am ready to evolve. It's just so chilling. Evolve into what exactly? What's going to happen to Blacktop Bill? How much more terrifying is this individual going to become? It's something to really look forward to in Volume 2. So, Piper now leading a Sundog convoy. They all, leave the ruins of Luna on the way to Eos to save the world. And then there's this epilogue. It shows Luna, the rubble of what's left at least, floating in the ocean. And out from the rubble is the Sundog herself, Val. And she is now a Nocturne. Yeah. So that's going to be crazy. I have no idea if her turning into a Nocturne is going to affect her mentality. Will she still be friendly, or will she now be foe? Having a Nocturne on the Sundog's side would be very useful, because essentially she can walk in the darkness and not worry about becoming a shade, and most of the other shades would just ignore her. So that's going to be a really vital thing to their cause. Alright, everyone, that's it for Nocterra Volume 2 with the great finale. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. This has been one of my most favorite series this year, and I really look forward to issue 12, the beginning of Volume 3 coming out. I'm not sure when that's coming out yet. I gotta check that. I gotta look into that. But until then, you all take care. Make sure you stay in the light. And whatever you do, don't wait too long in the darkness.